make six figures a year and I feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I don't know how to get out of this cycle. I need to caveat this by saying three things. One, finances are extremely personal, so please remember that before you leave a nasty fucking comment in my comments, because I will block and delete you. Two, I have to work two jobs to earn a six-figure income, so this is not just from one job. Three, I know I got myself into this mess, but now I'm trying to figure out how to get myself out of this mess. And so I'm making this video in the hopes that it could be potentially relatable to some people, or just like maybe seeking advice. Again, please no rude advice. I do not do well with rude advice, rude criticism, none of that. I'm very sensitive and I will literally block the fuck out of you.
I hate when people get on the internet and they preface the comments by saying, hey, don't say this to me or I'm going to block you. You're on the internet. You can't control how people respond to you. Let's continue.
So let's explain the situation a little more. I feel so fortunate to be making six figures. I make literally just about six figures, but to me, that's a number that was not attainable for a very long time. My mom is a single mom and she was an English teacher. So she just scratched the surface of six figures towards the very end of her career. And that was after working for 35 plus years.
So basically she make around $100,000 a year. I don't really understand the whole idea of saying six figures instead of saying, hey, I make $100 or $105 or $106,000 a year. Let's be more specific.
So, and she's one of the lucky ones. You know, most teachers will never see that kind of money whatsoever, but that money, like I said, was just not attainable to me. So to be making that at 26, so early on in my career, I do feel really grateful. Again, it's through two jobs, so it's not like I'm making that just from one job, but you know, just to like have that amount of money and feel that financial freedom that comes with making six figures when you're a single person is wonderful. But because of my fears surrounding money, I didn't really grow up with a lot of money. I have been aggressively paying down student loans because I just don't want any debt associated with me. That is the thing that gives me the biggest amount of anxiety. So I have taken my loans in, let's see, I think it's 2 full years now I've been paying on my student loans. Yes, since October 2023. I have taken my student loans down from $95,000 to $47,000. So
good job. Incredible job. See, I'm so used to y'all sending me videos or people are like, yo, I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I make $150,000 a year and I'm a single person and I don't really understand it because I live in a trailer and I drive a jalopy and you know, I'm still trying to figure it out. She's basically killing the game. And so I'm almost thinking that this is like a humble brag, but to go and basically be paying your student loans off in 3 to 4 years is absolutely commendable. This is what we want.
I have paid $50,000 almost of my student loans down in 2 years, which has taken a burden on me. Like, I am not able to have any savings. I do genuinely live paycheck to paycheck because I take all of the extra money I make and can afford to and throw it towards my student loans to aggressively pay that debt down.
A lot of people are going to disagree about this, but this is one of the reasons why 42 million people are on government benefits and food stamps. And I say that she's doing it perfectly. The way that I try to convince people is you aggressively pay down your debt and you just completely forget about any kind of savings. You know, I know that Dave Ramsey and other people, which is not wrong, they'll preach to you basically, hey, pay a little bit of interest and upfront to make sure that you get your emergency savings, get you a 1 month to 6 month emergency savings, and then get that nest egg just in case anything ever happens. And then that's when you start the debt snowball, where you basically pay the minimum of all your debts, and then you start to throw as much as you possibly can at the smallest, working your way up to the highest, which you then snowball that away. I like just getting into it, right? Paying that junk off, and it would seem like she's living paycheck to paycheck, but she's not. She's actually eliminating the interest that comes along with having all of these student loans and whatever debt that she acquire. And the faster that you get it done when you're younger, the quicker that you can get to financial freedom, and then you can start throwing your money into the things that really matter. One thing that people usually do, though, often is once they pay the debt off, either they get back in debt because they feel like they have the freedom and they have that extra money, or they start adjusting their lifestyle, and that's when they start to spend money because they feel like they need to reward themselves. I say just stay down. Stay down for the next 5 to 10 years, and then you spend the first 3 to 4 years getting rid of everything. Sometimes, if you're able to, do practice group economics and live with your parents, or get a roommate, or minimize your expenses, you don't break out. I don't care how much money that you make, you don't break out. The first 10 years of your life up until you're about 30 years old, 30, 31, 32, depending on when you really start, that's grind time. And then the residual effects of all of those smart decisions later on in life is what you then benefit from. So you have the rest of your life to basically ball out, because now your assets are spinning off resources that you can then use to buy things and buy the toys, but the principal is still growing because you still have the same spending habits, you have the same investment habits, and then that's when you start wanting to figure out where you want to allocate more monies, because the money is rolling over, you're growing more in your career, you're starting to make more money, and you've made smart financial decisions, whereas other people are having debt compounded on them. Instead, you eliminated that, and so you're giving less money to the federal government, less money to the banks, less money to the mortgage companies, and you're starting to pay yourself. She's absolutely doing it the right way, and it's okay for y'all to feel paycheck to paycheck early in the debt payoff stage. It's cool. You're supposed to be poor. It's people that are poor that ain't paying off the debt. They just accumulating more interest, and then they're gonna sit there and ask the government for a bailout or a handout. So I gotta commend this woman. Absolutely, 100%. She killing the game, and this is the blueprint for how I think that other people should tackle their debt.
But I've started to realize lately that because of that, I am really limiting myself on the amount of salary that I can live on, because to me, whatever goes to my student loans is like untouched. And it's obviously extra money towards my student loans. It's not the bare minimum I owe. Like, I pay aggressively, but it's untouched money. So I've been forcing myself to live on a very limited income, and it's just not working out for me. I've had to dip into my savings a lot since I've moved to Chicago in the last 2 years. And it's just, like I said, it's just really not good. So there are two things that I'm going to start doing. I am going to actually stop aggressively paying my student loans. I am going to pay maybe slightly over the bare minimum, but it's really to a point where I don't see as much of a benefit from paying down my student loans as I thought I would. And
What benefit are you trying to see? Don't just pay a little bit above the minimum. Get it paid off. You there. You're there. You actually killing the game. Oh my God. No, 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 no. Don't change. Forget the savings. That money don't really mean anything. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Pay it off.
I feel like if anything, it's a hindrance. It's obstructing me from being able to contribute anything to my savings, which again are dwindling. I am instead going to start taking that money and putting it directly towards savings. So again, I am limiting what I can do with my income and really restricting myself and putting myself on a very strict budget. But I'm also going to go into that budget that I've been living on all this time, and I'm going to start seeing where I can cut back. I know I eat out a ton. I know that I'm probably paying for subscriptions I don't need. I know that I'm probably paying for fitness classes that I don't really use that much or really need. So it's really about like going into there and seeing what I can cut back on every month, and then also how I can move some of this money into specific savings buckets, because I've never done that before. I just got like a SoFi card because I've heard that's really good. I don't know. But basically, I'm starting this journey where I'm trying to figure out my finances. And if you want to come along, please do hit the follow.
She got it together. She killing it. I like the fact that she's saying that she want to minimize and start figuring out where she can cut back. But fuck that savings. That's my philosophy. That savings don't mean nothing. You ain't even really making no money on that, but I know what you're paying in interest on that student loan. The faster that you get from under that and you see that burden lifted off of you, the quicker you'll then be able to strive and get to the real bag. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T Gently, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I'll link back to her profile just to make sure that I give credit where credit is due. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I want to know what y'all thoughts are on this.